On the news at 1. House Committee on FCT passes vote of confidence on AMAC chairman.
I want to commend the chairman for also being very active.
FCT minister assures of completion of ongoing projects in the 6 area councils before deadline.
We give them December to complete this project.
And more than 500 persons benefit from skills acquisition program.
A percentage of Nigerians there didn't have a skill.
Hello and a warm welcome to the news at 1 on Nta Channel 5, Abuja. I am Ifoma Ojinta. House Committee on FCT Area Councils and Ancillary Matters has passed a vote of confidence on the Mekalangu administration, commending the AMAC chairman for conducting the council affairs in the right direction. Deborah Gazaji Maika reports that this was at a meeting at the council secretariat in Abuja.
The visit was part of oversight functions of the House Committee on FCT and was led by the House Committee Chairman, Frederick Agbaji, representative. AMAC chairman was commended for being proactive and active to ensure AMAC residents enjoy dividends of democracy.
I want to commend the chairman for also being very active, also proactive, and seeing that the Abuja Municipal Area Councils also getting the needed developmental rights of his administration.
Christopher Zaka Mekalangu enumerated some of the challenges with regards to revenue collection between AMAC and FCTA, which has led to confrontations.
And he has got in all angles. We have some federal roads, communal roads. We have primary health care needed in some various areas. Not in the city center. The city center is my boss. My science UK is doing his best in the heart of the city. Well, I'm doing my best for the rural area. So my prayer is that the honorable who are here will give me that maximum support and cooperation so we can see how to reach out to people down there at the rural area.
The chairman pleaded for the committee's support as he pushed for areas to improve the well-being of AMAC residents in Abuja. Deborah Gazaji Maika, NTA News.
Funding will not be a hindrance to the December deadline for the inauguration of the ongoing emergency road construction across the 6 area councils. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike said this when he inspected some of the road projects in Buari and Kwali area councils. Onoze Yakubu reports.
The Dutse Alhaji Road down to Shafa town in Buari area council of the FCT was the first port of call for the inspection tour.
The silting of side drains and both left-hand side and right-hand side is also completed. It's about 5.4 kilometers. Now construction of concrete chutes is about 115 meters. That is 80% achieved.
Thereafter, the inspection team went to the Kwali area council. Work at the ongoing construction of Kweta Yebu Road has reached an appreciable level of progress.
Now we are
the total is 25 kilometers. The total is 25 kilometers. Any other community front? Yes.
The Nyangwoji Sukuku Road that has been earmarked for inauguration in December is still work in progress. But the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says funding will not be a challenge in meeting the December deadline.
You know, we had heavy rains this year, and we gave them December to complete this project. But you can see the level of job they have done, quality job, and this is in the rural area. And I'm very much impressed with all the contractors from Duse, where the SS is working. Then we got to Oshafa in Buari. Then we now went to Kwaita, and then we are now. I'm really impressed, very much impressed. And I'm going to do anything to make sure that funding is not a problem.
The minister says with the joy on the faces of the residents of the agrarian communities, It is a reflection of the renewed hope in action in the FCT. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
To acquaint students with the rudiments of research, the Department of Educational Management, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, has organized a two-day seminar with the theme, Educational Research and Reporting. Blessed Namfulani reports.
Participants at the two-day seminar are postgraduate students of Faculty of Education who are ready to be equipped with the necessary techniques to carry out independent research.
As a PhD student, research is the hallmark of whatever it is that you do.
Research is very important. Why are you searching? Because there is a need to solve a problem.
It opens our eyes to a whole lot of things.
Vice-Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman, in a message, described this year's theme as apt and key in addressing challenges students face in research writing.
It is very apt in the sense that our postgraduate program and postgraduate students need to be acquainted with all the steps and procedures on how to embark on an independent research work.
Stakeholders in the education sector express optimism that proffering solutions to societal problems through research writing will no longer be a challenge to students.
The only way to do it is for them to settle down and agree that, look, there is a contribution that they must do to knowledge, and that is why that there is a research curriculum that they need to go through and find the steps and follow it.
The aim is to acquaint the students with the knowledge and skills on how to write a research. After the considerations, we thought it wise to give all our PG students an opportunity by educating them more. We now involved everybody who is a PG student under us to partake in the seminar.
A good research will assist in assisting us to understand the dynamics in the education sector.
Key issues raised at the fourth seminar series are identification of research topics, sources, data analysis techniques, presentation, among others. From KEFI, Blessed Namfulani, NTA News.
Trainees celebrate empowerment and hope as Serenade, a non-governmental organization, graduates 30 trainees in bead making funded by the German Center in Cairo, Abuja. Kama reports that over 500 individuals have benefited from the initiative since its establishment in 2016.
Serenade's vision is to reconcile Nigerians in distress with skilled acquisition programs, combating human trafficking and gender-based violence. This program focused on training unemployed youth aged 18 to 40 in bead making, equipping them with skills to elevate poverty and the Japa syndrome. The organization's president, Uche Benson Okafor, a retired Nigerian senior diplomat, is passionate about impacting skills and promoting self-reliance.
What I saw abroad when I was serving at the embassies, I noticed that a percentage of Nigerians there didn't have a skill, and they were the ones bringing our reputation down in the country. And I thought that after when I finish my service, I'll find a way to package them, give them adequate training, and then maybe send them out as trained Nigerians.
Few of them here promised to empower them with startup kits and a space to start up their expertise after the graduation.
Beneficiaries praise Serenade for empowering them with various skills. The organization aims to eradicate human trafficking, support distressed Nigerians in diaspora, and addressing migration-related challenges.
I've been able to learn basic beadings, from how to make necklaces, earrings, bags, a lot that can serve as a base for me to be able to expand on bead making.
Thank God they brought me into the program, and then we went through the program. The program was successful. I achieved a lot.
I would like to encourage people like myself to learn skills even when they are still in school. I would love to thank Daddy Sir Uche Okafor for this great vision.
After 6 months of training, participants showcased their handmade products, a testament to their newfound skills.
Man, woman without skills really has nothing. We heard it before, even if you have education but you don't have skills, what do? Really nothing. So education, skills empowers you, empowers your family, empowers the nation, and empowers society.
Sorinit's initiative is a step towards youth empowerment and sustainable community development. With stakeholders and partners, they are creating a brighter future for Nigeria. Kama, Nta News.
Now, industrial development is of critical importance for sustained and inclusive economic growth in African countries. As the world commemorates the African Industrialization Day, correspondent Deborah Micah reports takes a look at the challenges of industrial development in Nigeria, specifically the FCT.
Industry can enhance productivity, increase the capabilities of the workforce, and generate employment by introducing new equipment and new techniques. A cross-section of Nigerians noted that Nigeria, however, since independence in 1960, has attempted to industrialize, but the process has been challenging.
Like for example, now you buy this one, 100 naira per one today. When you come tomorrow, you give customer the same price. Before you get to the market, you want to buy your material, everything change suddenly. Everybody are burning diesel. How much is diesel? How much is the per liter now? About 1,200. Before you burn 5 liters, that's about 6. So which account do you want to put that?
Past one, I haven't done anything because we don't have power supply. That is one of our worst issue here right now.
Industrialization with strong linkages to domestic economies will help African countries achieve high growth rates, diversify their economies, and reduce their exposure to external shocks. Major industries in Africa include energy, that is oil and gas, agriculture, mining, telecommunications, and finance and banking. In the FCT, Idu area has been mapped out as industrial hub, but Chairman Abuja Industrial Cluster, Shitu Mohammed Kabiru observed some of the issues lingering around development in the area.
We've written to the minister more than 4 times so that we can also benefit from his own good work by putting up, lighting up Idu industrial area, being able to get electricity, we'll be able to get our road infrastructure, we'll be able to get our sewages done. These are areas we are pleading, because if we have electricity and we are able to also have a good road within the industrial cluster, then the sky is our limit.
Access to affordable credit is one of the most binding constraints in Africa for industrial development.
If you go to Ghana, they give you a card that if you can open an account in a day, you can do any transaction in a day. So far you have that Ghana card. So in Nigeria, with your money, the bank will still refer you. If the money come, they will either ask you to go to UFCC and clear and go. We have so much bureaucracy that is stopping our industrialization.
South Africa is the most industrialized country on the continent, with Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, and some other countries closely behind. In Abuja, Deborah Gazaji Micah, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 1 on Nta Channel 5 Abuja, and still to come on the news. NTA family pays tribute to late colleague Joy Osiagu. These and more after the break. Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The news station Nta Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Thanks for staying tuned. In what was described as a significant crackdown on vandalism, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC FCT Command has made a major breakthrough, arresting 5 suspects along the Katampe-Kubwa Expressway. Kama brings the details of the successful operation, which highlights the Corps' unwavering commitment to safeguard Nigeria's vital infrastructure.
The NSCDC says the suspects were arrested during a nighttime patrol along the Katampe-Kubwa Expressway. Their truck, loaded with scraps and vandalized items, raised suspicion as it had no number plates and an altered registration number TRIN 318ZY Kanu. The recovered items include drainage covers, iron pipe protectors for bridge shoulders, telecom mask accessories, manhole covers, angle bars from public water tanks, electricity aluminum conductors. Preliminary investigation revealed that the suspects were transporting these items from Gauta Junction in Nasarawa to Iron Melting Company in Niger State. The suspects, aged between 20 and 27, will face further investigation and prosecution.
The suspects are currently undergoing investigation, and I assure you that due diligence will be followed in ensuring that justice is served. I wish to reiterate that the FCT command of NSCDC is poised towards ensuring that all critical national assets and infrastructure, which is our common heritage, is preserved. And to this end, we want to assure the federal government, because this is the seat of power. We also like to assure the FCT administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency Nyesom Wike, and all residents of FCT, of our unwavering commitment, our doggedness and determination to continue to perform our duties optimally until vandals, scavengers, popularly known as Babambola, and other saboteurs are chased out of the Federal Capital Territory.
The arrest marks a significant milestone in the fight against vandalism and theft in the FCT. Kama, NTA News.
The call for equal access to justice has been an age-long demand as a right and not a privilege for all citizens, irrespective of status. Human rights advocates, civil and labor unions state that societies must be built on access to justice where no one is sidelined due to economic disadvantage or communities that are marginalized. Safia Norma Uche tells us more about the rights to legal representation and equal justice.
A popular reggae song by late Jamaican legend Peter Tosh underscores the need for peace but calls for justice. It was in 1995 in India that the National Legal Service here took its root from the Supreme Court with the aim to provide free legal services and support to weaker sections of the society. Here in the FCT, how do residents see the right to legal representation and access to justice?
What happens usually in the legal year is that the judges, they might give pardons to ex-convicts, they might reconsider some cases and just stuff like that. But the essence of the legal year is the commencement of the annual legal year for the legal profession, and it encompasses from the judges to the legal practitioners, and in between there are certain events that are undertaken.
While legal practitioners lay emphasis on praising the congestion in Nigeria, especially on the abuse of incarcerating awaiting trial persons endlessly, there are views which strongly hold that alternatives for minor offences through community development services or corporate punishment should surface.
Usually there are certain inmates that, when you look at their cases, there might be some level of injustice or unfairness involved, and then it gives the chief judge of the state the opportunity to reappraise the cases, and then the commencement of the legal year usually gives the opportunity to make a pronouncement on such cases, which usually lead to the pardon or the reconsideration of the case, as the case may be.
The importance of a legal year is to look at what has happened the previous year, then set the parameters for future development of the judiciary in the ensuing year, in the new legal year. And so the cases that have been heard, whether criminal or civil cases, will be brought into limelight, the number of cases that have been filed, those that have been heard, and again, how to improve the welfare of judges, the welfare of justices, and also to have a convenient atmosphere or environment so that our judges can work very well.
FCT residents say programs and awareness creation must be intensified to empower individuals with knowledge on legal rights and for promoting mechanisms to conflict resolution so as to foster a more equitable society. In Abuja, Safia Noma Uche, NTA News.
Nigerian broadcast industry players, especially the NTA family, says the invaluable professional contributions of Joy Osiagu on and off the TV screen will forever remain green as they bid her final farewell in a night of tributes organized by the NTA family. Abdullahi Ajia captured moments at the NTA Arena characterized by solemnity and reminiscence of good times with the deceased.
Senior and junior colleagues, including the contemporaries of Joy Osiagu in the broadcast landscape, as well as friends and family members, used the night to recount personal and professional working relationships, describing the deceased as an excellent broadcaster with profound quality of indelible mark that affected many positively in different ways, as well as a committed family woman.
Joy Osiagu was a remarkable individual. She was not just a colleague at the Nigeria High Commission in Ottawa, she was a cherished member of our team.
To the NTA family, it's a tough time. Some of us have friends that relate well with her. It's a difficult moment to say goodbye to a loved one.
The news of Joy's death was shocking, devastating. That has been hard for us in the news directorate to accept. Death might have taken you away quickly, but you live forever in our hearts, dear friend and colleague.
She was that person that brought joy into the room and lived her name. She continued to be, wherever she went, the one who carried broadcasting as a badge.
What I know that she was one of the best. She did everything she can as a professional.
With tears fresh and heart still heavy over her death, the words of the scripture that talk about a time and a season for everything, urging Christians to not mourn like the hopeless people, sufficed as consolation from the clergy, provide guidance for grieving hearts. As they also encourage the living to live a worthy life, that would be defined by legacies like Joy did in her sojourn on earth.
As they say, when someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. We'll treasure Joy for the rest of our lives.
Nigeria is in a state of mourning with the demise of Joy Osiagu.
Of course, her demise has created a vacuum in her immediate family and professional space, as those she left behind were committed into praise for God's consolation.
My mom was and always will be my greatest inspiration. Her strength, kindness, and love shaped who I am today. My mom was a big part of all of our lives. The devotion that she brought to her work, she also brought to taking care of us and making sure that we were all well. I'm grateful to God for the gift of my mother.
Words can't describe how I feel inside, but my mom was a great person, as you all know, and she really inspired me to do everything that I'm doing.
She touched our family. We're a large family, large extended family. Every one of us had something to say about God. She reached out to all of us.
With a heart full of grief, I remember the times we shared together.
The late Joy Osiagu, who died at 53, is survived by her husband, children, and other relations. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Thank you.
Let's now join our sports desk for Sports Brief.
Thank you for joining us on The Globe this week, a news segment that keeps you up to date on happenings around the globe. I am Sandra Akemi. As world leaders gathered in South America, many of the leaders were engaged in a delicate diplomatic dance with President Xi Jinping of China. As the United States marks a transition from Mr. Biden to Mr. Trump, presidents and prime ministers around the world are searching for stability, particularly when it comes to China. Mr. Xi, in his own remarks during a meeting in Peru, told Mr. Biden that he wanted to maintain a stable, healthy, and sustainable relationship with the United States. And the 22-member Sri Lankan cabinet of the JVP-NPP coalition was sworn in on November 18 following its victory in the parliamentary election. President Anura Kumara retained the key ministries of defense, finance, planning, and digital economy. Unlike previous cabinets, the NPP has kept the cabinet lean and got the optics right. Social media influencers, some politicians, and civil society leaders commended the formation of a relatively small cabinet, the smallest in the past few decades, soon after Anura won the presidential election in September 2024. Ukraine's President Zelensky acknowledged the Crimea Peninsula seized by Russia in 2014 would have to be restored to Ukrainian sovereignty through diplomacy. Zelensky, in a broadcast on Wednesday, said his country could not afford to lose the number of lives that would be required to retake Crimea through military means. He again rejected any notion of ceding any territory already occupied by Moscow's forces, saying Ukraine cannot legally acknowledge any occupied territory of Ukraine as Russia. Many thanks for staying with us on this segment. The news continues. I am Sandra Akemi.
Thank you very much indeed, Sandra. And that was The Globe this week and not Sports Brief. We hope to bring you the latest in the world of sports in our 7 p.m. bulletin or subsequent bulletins. And that'll be all of the news at once. Thanks for being part of our production. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Do have a pleasant day.